What's up, guys? Today, you don't come here. And I cut off my dreads. And also, your boy turned 16 on February 25th. That day passed already. Now we in March now. And I'm back. I cut off my dreads. It's kind of crazy now. But this little interview with Tomotion. It was a good interview. Loved it. We talked about deliverance, and it's finna come up. I do got my video dropping for you guys. Ain't gonna lie, I do. Like I really do. And, I'm done not being. I'm just done not being like no. Like I'm just done. So I'm finna come back, so I be consistent out of everything, bro. But let me stop talking. Let's start into the interview. Yo, what's up, guys? Today it's me, Xeno, and today we are here with
Tomotion.
And how you doing today, man? This is actually, I think, probably like one of my famous, probably the most popular interviews that's right now. It's good. I don't know. I'm more excited, so it's kind of crazy. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm just chilling, doing my thing. Still hard at work for episode 5. Yeah, that's about it.
So you want to start this question now?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Question 1. How did y'all come up with deliverance? How was like your plan and stuff?
How do we come up with it? So the base of deliverance is primarily Luca's story, and he always wanted to have put Namekians in the spotlight, right? Because Saiyans are always the one that are stealing the show, and we felt, or at least Luca felt at the time, that Namekians were criminally underrated. And because of that, he wanted to change this and put Namekians more into the spotlight, especially because, since we came up with this before Daima was a thing, right? So we had very little to no knowledge on the actual history of the Namekians. And when you stop and think about what the Namekians have actually achieved, it does make your mind erase, like what were they hiding? Like how were they able to create something like this? And that is how we centered the story for deliverance. And with that, we were like, okay, so like how far after GTD we wanted to have it. So 8 years. Okay, cool. What could have happened in 8 years? Like how would these characters evolve? How can we make a new threat that is, interesting or hasn't been done before? And when we start to play around with concepts like that, then we very quickly got to where we are now.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Wait, okay. So with Daima telling with Daima telling the Namekian story,
Yeah.
So I do think okay. So that plays like a big role in the story then. No.
What if Daima is gonna play a story in Deliverance? You mean?
Well, no. Well, okay. What I'm saying, like about the Namekian, info. I know information coming.
Oh, yeah. Now I understand. Yeah. So no. No, the answer is no. We understand that. This might be the like a more accurate description of like what Namekians were and where they used to live, with the point years and all. But we're still going off on the story that we created around it. We kind of treat Dragon Ball GT as a separate timeline thing. It's a timeline where the gods do not exist. At least not like the gods of destruction, where the multiple universe does not exist, where God Ki does not exist. Right, because that's all stuff in Super, and which completely contradicts GT. And even Daima, right? Even Daima, to a certain extent, contradicts Dragon Ball Super. So you can even argue that's a separate timeline in of itself. And because of that, we decided to not have anything else or anything other than Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT influence Dragon Ball Deliverance. Okay. So whatever Daima does or Super does, that's all up to them. We're doing our own thing with our own timeline.
Okay. Now the second question: how did y'all promote episode
Yeah.
one, and how did y'all think it was going to do?
How do we come up with episode one? Again, this is primarily what like Luca was, I think, like good like halfway in between animating the entire thing on his own before he asked me to join the team. And at the time I just did backgrounds and helped him like fix up some of the dialogue. So it was primarily up like out of Luca's head. And you can tell at the time that he did not really have an idea on where the story was going at that time, which is why a lot of stuff that we're now doing completely retcons what we've done in episode one. I actually can't stand to look at episode one anymore, especially if you compare it to like our newer episodes and the quality that we got now. But how we would think we were going to be doing, I didn't think of anything. I was hoping that it would get some traction, sure thing, but I didn't think that it would get 10 million views. No, and it's infuriating because in my opinion, our worst episode got the highest amount of views. That's well, it's slightly frustrating, is what it is, but. It still holds a special place. Like we started with it, we didn't really know at the time like what we were doing or how we're doing it, in comparison to like what we're doing right now, of course. So yeah.
Okay. Now the third question is: how long does it take to make episode? Like for you guys. Yeah.
I mean, people have been waiting for the fifth episode for 2 years now, so about that long. No, but in all honesty, it's if we wanted to, we could turn around an episode real quick, like genuinely if we wanted to. But we would not be happy when doing so because it would means that we would be making the same product over and over and over again. We could not look at quality or be like, yeah, this is fine, like it's roughly around the same like level as the previous episode, and we can just keep pumping out episodes probably like every year if we're doing it like that. But we want to become better. We want every episode to improve, and for that we need us to improve, and we are more critical to ourselves, or like try new methods or different things. And it's because of these things that it takes longer to release these episodes, but once they do get released, it is a step up every single time. And it's why you see such a big leap after every episode. After every episode, we'll sit each other down and we're like, okay, so what can we do now to make the next episode better, or like how do we get into the pro territory? That's always like a thing that we're talking about. And yeah, like that, and that's our primary focus, and that's where we get our primary enjoyment out of. Not necessarily like we love the fans and the fan base around Deliverance, but what we love most of all is improving. How can we make something that's bigger and better than the last thing that we made? And the downside is that it costs a lot of time, but we think it's worth it in the long run. So short answer. If we don't improve every year or so, in the route that we are now, a little bit longer. Even though we do try to get faster, of course. But that's something we're going to be trying out next episode 6.
Okay. And now question 4. I was gonna say, so how did y'all find these voice actors? Like okay, so like did y'all like audition people, like multiple people for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at the start, we actively looked for people, right? That was primarily me that did that. I just went on YouTube and I just scoured like endless voice demo reels to see if a voice actor, like had the potential or maybe even like the exact same voice to match a character that we wanted to voice. And once Deliverance gained traction and popularity, the roles kind of got reversed, and there were like many people who, like started to approach us instead, which saves us a lot of trouble looking for people. So yeah.
Okay. The last question: is there any? Okay, so is there any like information you would like to tell us? Because a lot of fans waiting on a lot of info, and also when's episode 5 coming out?
What kind of info are you looking for?
Well, it's just for the fans. Like you could tell them. I tell them like anything you want to tell them.
Yeah, how about you ask me something that you would like to know, and I cannot promise you if I can answer it or not, but you never know.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll just ask you too. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, how many arcs, is it going to be? The story. And how long do you think it's going? And how long do you keep pushing for?
Is it okay? So like character arcs, you mean, or just like
story arcs?
I mean, we treat the entire thing as one big story arc, right? So we are essentially looking for creating roughly around a season worth of deliverance. So
one season?
like 11, yeah, like 11 or 12 episodes, roughly like that. Doesn't mean that we want to take another 15 years on it. We're trying to speed up as well. But yeah, that's the goal.
Okay. And now for my second question, no last question. So,
all right.
When's episode 5 coming out?
When the next episode's coming out?
Yeah, could y'all tell us like early January?
No, sorry. That's something that we cannot say. No. Sorry, that's one of the release dates is the one thing that we cannot say. It's primarily because we don't want to make any false promises, right? We give out a release date trailer once we're certain that we can deliver at a certain time, right? And until that time, we've never broken a promise before. Every time we give out a release date, we hold ourselves to it. So we just cannot make any promises. What I can say is that we are well on our way, and it's looking very nice.
Okay, so if y'all if you had if you had a project to say 100, 87, 90%, what would you say?
Also extremely difficult to answer, right? Because there are multiple things walking adjacent from there are multiple things going on at the same time, right? You have the entire animation process, which is dependent by 20 or so people, and these 20 or so people, it could be that one of them got a very busy period at work going on starting next month. I'm just saying something random, right? And then we think that he may be at the finish line, but no, his stuff is delayed for a month or maybe 2 months. And then someone else where we're he's really behind, all of a sudden can just finish up really quickly and start helping someone else. Next to that, we also have a couple of guys making music, and sometimes just a person just not answer at all, and sometimes the other person, is hey, I also made 2 other tracks. Same goes for voice acting. Same goes for the backgrounds, the 3D models or environments, or a sound designer. The downside and the reason why we cannot give any proper timelines is because we are working with people who are not getting paid. And because they're not getting paid, their real lives come first. And as everyone knows, and as you may know, and I certainly know, life's unpredictable. So at times we're we're this many percentage done, but it does not mean that if we take 2 years for 60%, that means in half a year it should be done, because that's just not how it works. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
we will definitely do while I cannot give out any release dates,
mm-hmm.
I'm safe to say that we are nearly there.
Okay.
We're nearly there. That's all I can say.
Okay. I guess the fans should be happy about that, but I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, but this is the end of the interview, but I ain't gonna lie. I am very proud. I'm just happy to interview because this is crazy, and I tried. I think I tried getting in contact with y'all a few months ago, and it didn't go through nothing.
You did?
I think I did.
Oh. Oh, sorry, man. We're not doing that on purpose.
That's cool. It's okay.
there's people in the fan server, who was like, hey, guys, how's it going? We got like people sending me personal messages, and sometimes it's very nice. Sometimes like these guys can be a little, even though they're fans, they can be a little obnoxious.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I never do it. If we didn't reach you, it was not like on purpose or anything.
It's so good. Well, I'm just happy to interview you now.
So yeah, of course.
Nah, but thank you for.
It's
No,
yeah.
No. You can talk.
Okay. No, I thought it was. I thought it was very kind. You're like, you want an interview? That's nice. It's lovely.
Mm.
Yeah, dude. Like that's great. I'm happy you. Like I'm not sure if you're looking forward to the interview, but I'm happy. I could make you happy. And sorry that we can't say anything. It's just that's just how it is, man.
It's okay. Well, thank you for showing up. I really appreciate it. Yeah,
Of course, man. Don't mention it.